New highly controversial movie Joker hauled $93.5 million just in its opening weekend in the USA, which is the highest debut for a film released in October in cinematic history. It grossed $140.5 million internationally over the same period. Because of the immense success, however, there are growing fears that the film might inspire copycat killings, with some violent-minded young loners relating to Arthur Fleck, who transforms into the devilish psycho villain. Today, we are trying to figure out if Joker is more than just a great movie, and if it poses danger to the society. Amid constant fears over mass shootings in America, before the public release of the dark R-rated film, Warner Brothers and the National Theater Owners Association were forced to take preventative measures in order to ensure safety of the audiences. Theater chains are sending out parental advisories. Some theaters are taking additional measures, and in their parental advisories discourage parents from allowing any children to see the film, even if they are supervised. AMC Theaters has reminded moviegoers about its 7-year-old ban on masks and face paint. The largest movie chain in the United States imposed it after a shooter killed 12 people at an Aurora, Colorado showing of Batman movie The Dark Knight Rises. Landmark Theaters, the biggest U.S. independent cinema chain, joined their colleagues and forbid guests to wear costumes or masks to screenings of Joker. Families of victims and survivors of the 2012 Aurora shooting spoke out against the movie. They fear the origin story given to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker might make people sympathize with the DC villain presented as a mistreated outcast who goes on a killing spree. Meanwhile, the U.S. Army has issued guidelines to its personnel about what to do if they encounter a Joker-inspired mass shooter. Seems like the official institutions have seriously prepared for anything that might potentially go wrong. However, despite all the measures taken, concerns persist, and they are not ungrounded, minding that only this year there have been 12 mass shootings in the U.S.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
When asked by IGN if Joker might be dangerous, director Todd Phillips responded, "The movie makes statements about a lack of love, childhood trauma, lack of compassion in the world. I think people can handle that message." The lead actor, however, was not quite ready to answer a similar question. The Telegraph journalist Robbie Collin asked Phoenix if he was worried it would inspire, quote, "exactly the kind of people it's about, with potentially tragic results." Phoenix left the room. According to Collin, it took an hour's peace brokering with Warner Brothers PR to get things back on track. After his return, Phoenix said he panicked because the question genuinely hadn't crossed his mind before. Numerous critics called the film deeply troubling. For example, before the public release, Times film critic Stephanie Zacharek wrote, "In America, there's a mass shooting or attempted act of violence by a guy like Arthur practically every other week. And yet, we're supposed to feel some sympathy for Arthur, the troubled lamb. He just hasn't had enough love." Still, despite the concerns, since its release on October 4th, Joker has garnered mostly positive reviews, currently holding a high score on Rotten Tomatoes. No dangerous situations have been spotted during the screening or in connection with the film. Critics praise the film for its gritty, realistic portrayal and Phoenix's unhinged performance, which many believe has secured his 4th Oscar nomination. Joker has already been awarded the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival and received an 8-minute standing ovation from the festival audience. But things might be slightly different with the Oscars, some believe. As Mark Malkin from Variety noted, he heard mostly praise from the Academy voters after the New York Film Festival premiere. He added, however, "At the same time, voters appear to be resistant to rewarding the actor. It's not because they don't think his work is worthy, they just don't like the idea that their vote could come off like an endorsement of violence." It is actually a decades-long debate about whether violence in entertainment can inspire real-life events. Sadly, history shows that some bloody blockbusters have resulted in copycat crimes, or were connected to some pretty deplorable deeds. One of these examples is the brilliant movie Taxi Driver. That, by the way, served as an inspiration for Joker's director Todd Phillips.
You talking to me?
The 1976 movie featuring Robert De Niro tells the story of a lonely veteran working as a cab driver who descends into insanity and plots to assassinate a senator for whom the woman he is infatuated with works. Now, the real story that followed is about one disturbed individual, John Hinckley Jr., who got obsessed with Jodie Foster after seeing her in 1976's Taxi Driver. His expression of love turned into the shooting of President Ronald Reagan on March 30th, 1981. Fortunately, he only wounded Reagan with a ricochet, and Hinckley was found not guilty by reason of insanity. One of his pre-shooting love letters to Foster read, "I will admit to you the reason I'm going ahead with this attempt now is because I cannot wait any longer to impress you." When the film director Martin Scorsese heard about Hinckley's motivation behind his assassination attempt, he even considered quitting filmmaking, as the association brought a negative perception of the film. What is your take on this debate? Should art be censored for the sake of public safety? Or is it not art that causes violence, but much more complicated issues? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to watch exciting videos every day.